And we are live. So if you guys are joining from the Zoom screen, welcome. And if you are watching from Facebook, either live or the replay, welcome. So on today's group coaching call, I wanted to talk a little bit about fulfillment. So we've been kind of hammering this cadence of lead generation, lead nurture, sales, and then fulfillment, team building, and leadership. I think that those are kind of loosely the core functions or operations of a business that needs to be successful. So I want to cover all of them and not just totally hammer lead gen all the time or whatever. All of this stuff is important when it comes to, making the business that you want, as far as like running by your team and profitable. All of that is important to make that happen. So today I want to talk about fulfillment. And last time we talked about fulfillment, it was largely a breakdown between private, semi-private, and group training, and or group accountability and how to navigate those. And today I wanted to talk a little bit more about your flagship program and then upselling, right? And so let's dive right into it. So the idea is that we want to put together a flagship program that is an irresistible offer, right? That you can over deliver on, and that everybody has a coach, right? That creates a difference between a coaching program and a fitness membership, right? You can't charge high ticket prices for a fitness membership, not for long, right? And sometimes you'll see people that are like, yeah, I sold this, 3-month program and it's got automated fulfillment, and they just respond to something on, an app, whether it be like True Coach or, there's honestly a lot of apps right now that can automate like sending out programming and all of that stuff. And the thing is about that is you might be good enough at sales to close somebody on that, right? But you're not going to build a strong business from that, because you're going to have it's going to be very difficult to retain those people, because the intrinsic value of that program just isn't where it should be. You'll get a pop out of it. You'll get the initial sale, but to keep them on continuity, past the 3 months or whatever length you're selling is going to be incredibly hard, right? Especially if you are doing everything yourself and you don't have a team that's energizing it. And it's really hard to get a team of coaches to energize, like accountability through apps and that kind of stuff. They just hate doing it, guys. My coaches at my gym are so good because I give them so much freedom to dictate what the client that they're coaching should be doing, how to do it, when to do it. And because of that, they really enjoy what they do, and they really work on their craft and making themselves the best coaches possible. Like, man, if I just had them running like workout number 27 that I wrote and reaching out to somebody via an app, like Trainerize or True Coach or whatever, like, dude, they could do it, but they would not be excited. They wouldn't be energized to do it. And when they're not, like, you're going to have employee turnover and client turnover. So how do we fix that? Well, we let them be real coaches. And so last time I talked about this, I talked about how you can do that, right? You can totally do it through one-on-one. You can totally do it through semi-private. You can totally do it through group accountability, right? Or one-on-one accountability, group plus accountability. You can totally do it and pull it off really well. There's gyms in this program that do all 3 different kinds and pull it off really well. Once you've decided what makes the most sense for you and your business, and our coaches can help walk through those different scenarios and what it looks like, now it's time to sell and fulfill on that. And so I'm a really big fan of stacking your flagship program, your transformation program, with a lot of value on the front end, so we can charge $69 to $99 a week, but not too much time. We can sell more time. So let me break that down. So with all the stuff that I offer on the front end of my transformation program, it sounds like it's going to be really expensive and stacked with a ton of value. But the thing is, I'm only giving them 30 minutes a week of time, right? Of actual one-on-one time with their coach. The rest of the stuff is just value that they can consume on their own, or do on their own time. As an example, they'll get access to 3 days a week or unlimited. It depends on the bandwidth of our gym classes of group training, right? They're going to get invites to all of our group events and member challenges, right? That you can't get access to if you're not a member of the gym, right? They're going to get a blueprint, a nutrition plan, a supplement recommendations based on their own stats, based on their own goals, based on their body, based on what they're taking. They're going to get a movement assessment that's done as part of their first workout, so we can see what muscles are overactive, what are underactive, what needs to be strengthened, what needs to be stretched, how to get imbalances out. Like, they're going to get all of that stuff. They're going to get all of our nutritional meal plans, right? If they want meal plans with all of the hacks that we put together over being in this business for 10 years, they just sign up and they get all of it. It's a fast track. How to travel, how to eat when they're traveling, how to eat at a restaurant, how to break up their foods between calories and macros if that's what they want to do, right? They get all of that. They get exclusive membership to our community, our Facebook group community, where people are sharing tips, recipes, all sorts of stuff, right? It's a club. It's an exclusive club, right? And they get once a week of private coaching, with their coach at the gym, right? And it's 30 minutes, but they'll be at the gym for about an hour after the warm up and the stretch, right? Then they get weekly accountability, right? And goal setting and tracking. So at the end of the workout, their coach is going to take a look at their goals, right? And then track it on our InBody, which most people do not have access to being able to see what their body fat percentage is, to see what their muscle mass is, their water weight that they're retaining, and then see if they're making progress. They kind of just have to jump on a scale and hope the number goes down, when that's not really indicative of what's actually happening in their body. But most people do not have access to anything like that. They do. My members do. And then the coach will set a goal for the next week, right? And follow up with that by giving homework and then making sure they're doing that homework. Homework might be, hey, attend all 3 classes next week, right? And he has the ability to check in to see if they've done that. I want you to hit 7,500 steps a day or 10,000 steps a day. And he has the ability to get a screenshot at the end of the day once they've reached that 10,000 steps. And I want you to send me a picture of 4 of your dinners, right? To make sure that the portion control is in line with, what it should be. I'm not worried about your breakfast or lunch. Those things seem dialed in. But when you make 4 dinners, send me that image. Now again, that puts all the work on the client. As you can see, my coach doesn't have to do really any work besides that 30 minutes, right? And then receive those messages, receive them. If he doesn't receive them, then he can shoot a message out like, hey, what's going on? Like, everything all good? Like, I gave you some homework. I didn't see it come in. I'm really trying to help you reach these goals. That's a big part of how we're going to be successful together, is like, I'll give you exactly what you need to do, but on your end, you just got to do it. Is that cool? Right. And so, like, they're really just holding them. It doesn't take them any time to receive anything. It doesn't take them any time to give out homework. It's not like my coaches have pre-programmed messages that they have to send out across 30 clients that takes them 10 hours a week, and I have to pay them $10 an hour for 10 hours a week, and that gets added to my front end. And I don't do any of that. I just let them be good coaches, and I teach them how to be coaches and explain to them what a good coach would do. A good coach would give homework and then follow up with that, right? You don't have to do it, but then, is that really what you want to be? You know what I mean? And so there's not a master spreadsheet they have to fill out, because every good coach is going to coach their own way. But if they can get the results and their clients love them, then who am I to tell them exactly how to coach? Now there's some non-negotiables. Like, dude, if we promise once a week, 30 minutes, you have to do that. That's a non-negotiable. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't just not do that and say, well, I don't believe in, no, right? But as far as like the micromanagement of the coaches, we don't do that, right? We let them flourish, and they love their job because of that. Some of them come from other gyms where they're incredibly micromanaged and they hate it, right? And that's why they left. My gym doesn't do that. And I keep my members for so long because they build such a strong relationship that's organic to who they are as coaches, right? It's not who I want them to be, right? If they tried to coach like I coach, it wouldn't be effective for them. Right? It was effective for me because I'm different than they are, different personality, right? So let them be them and let them coach, and then give them some loose guidelines that they have to follow, right? And when you do that, like, Can you imagine all the stuff that I just said comes in my flagship program for only $69 a week? That's fucking crazy, right? How do these guys make it work? Well, we do, right? And like when you compare it to someone else, Fitness Together is down the road for me, right? I know that they charge, $80 per hour session, right? Somewhere around there. And most of the time their clients are coming in twice a week. Well, I know that they don't have a very big place. The clients are the coaches are just taking them through certain strength and resistance exercises. And then there's no really nutrition or anything like that. I know a coach that came from there, right? And so they kind of explain to me how it works. And guys, like, it's just an hour workout. See you next week. And Mrs. Jones is happy to pay, $80 a week for 1 hour session. And that's it. Versus my gym, where she can come in and pay $69 a week, save money, and get a complete transformation program. It's a no-brainer, right? That's my flagship program. But the point of this video is that that's not the program that 50% of my clients are on. That's the base level program. A lot of my clients have ascended to higher levels of that program. And we don't have like, I'm not a big fan of creating like bronze, silver, gold packages. I just don't think it needs to be like that. I think that you're trying to fit something into a box that may not be meant to go in there. I think that you can be very custom with, at the level that we're at, guys, like if you have 250 members on a transformation program, you have $1 million gym. You don't need more than that. Just do the math, right? And so I think you're able to be a little custom with that few of members, right? It's not a big, even if you have like an open gym aspect that brings in a ton of like $20, $30, $40 memberships. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just people on your transformation program. I think you can ascend them to higher levels of service on a custom basis. And we do that all the time. Specifically, my coaches do that. So we'll market, we'll get somebody in, and we'll close them on a transformation program at $69 a week. Could we sell them more? Sure, we could on the front end, but I don't want to lose that sale. So I want to over deliver and get really, really good at selling just the transformation program for a certain duration of time. 12 weeks, 16 weeks, 24 weeks, 52 weeks, whatever, depending on their goals, right? Then I have pre-built in times that my coaches will attempt to sell them more, right? That is upselling them, right? And the coaches will do this because they will get paid more. They will make more money and the client will get better results. As an example, the coach or the sales manager sells the client and books the blueprint meeting with them, right? The first meeting where they're going to finally meet their coach. They've connected with their coach already, because before that person left the sales meeting, a three-way chat was started between the coach, the client, and the salesperson, right? We use Voxer. You can use whatever app you want. But we're like, hey, we use Voxer at this gym. Could you go ahead and just look in your app store, type it in VOXER. Okay, go ahead and download that. Okay, cool. I'm going to start a group chat. What's your username? Okay, cool. I'm going to start a group chat between me, you, and your coach just to say hi. And then once your coach replies, I'm going to jump out of the chat. That way I'm not in like your guys' private coaching channel, right? And they connect with their coach, right? And then the first time they actually meet in person, right, this is going to be the blueprint. Well, that coach will then, when they get through nutrition, and be like, hey, do you have any issues with X, Y, or Z? What do you think about this? Okay, cool. I think just to get started, we don't need this. They cross out like 8 things. The only supplements that I recommend for you are these 2. It's going to be a pre-workout. It's going to be a protein, right? So you're going to take this before your workout and this after your workout. We got blue raspberry. We got chocolate. Is that cool, or do you like different flavors, right? And so it's a very assumed sale. Be like, cool, this is going to be $50 and this is going to be $40. Do you want to just use the card that we have on file? Does that work for you? And it'll just be auto shipped right to the gym, and you can pick it up next time that you're in. It's a two-day wait, right? And we close them on number 1, supplements, a product that has nothing to do with their transformation program. Just helps them, get results faster. Then, after 30 days of being in the program, they're through what we call the conditioning phase, right? And the conditioning phase is largely going to be like when they're super fucking sore, when they're really starting to get a grasp of eating cleaner, and it's going to start making them feel better and like clear out all the crap in their system. They're going to have lost some weight, so they're going to be super happy with their results and in momentum. Even if they didn't lose weight, they probably recomp their body, a little bit, and build some muscle, burn some fat. They're going to be looking good. The clothes are going to be feeling better. That's when the coach sits down with them to do like a 30-day like check-in review of the first 30 days of the program. And guys, if you have not watched the referral training, it's team referrals, specifically in phase 3, lesson 1, it's called team referrals. This is the meeting that I'm talking about, that they're sitting down and doing, right? And so 2 things happen from this meeting. 3 things happen, but only 2 of them your coach is doing, right? Number 1 is they sit down and they reflect on the past 30 days and what went well and what could be improved, right? Now, if the client is not happy, then we're just going to rewrite the blueprint. We're going to use that 30 minutes to rewrite the blueprint and to adjust the plan so it's effective and enjoyable. And we say that right in the training. Is like, look, if the program's effective but it's not enjoyable, your client's not going to stay, right? If the program's super enjoyable but it's not effective, meaning they're getting like no results, they're not going to stay. It's got to be effective and enjoyable. So we'll keep fucking rewriting that blueprint until it's both. Until like, you know what? I lost 5 pounds and I'm loving it, man. This is so cool, right? Then what we do is we get a testimonial out of them. Oh, that's so awesome. Hey, would it be cool if I ask you a couple questions? And if you guys, if you want to know how we're doing this now, so it's super, super quick, just visit www.fitbiztestimonial.com. This is the app that we're using at the gym now, that they just open up their phone. You could call it, bodybydesignTestimonial.com. You can call it whatever you want to call it, right? They open up their phone. It literally, a question pops up and they hit record and they record their answer. Question number 2 pops up, they hit record, they record their answer. So now you have a testimonial that you can post on your Facebook and then ask them to tag any of their friends that might be interested in getting similar results, and ask them if it's cool if you tag people too. And now you got this video that's spreading, you can add a little, like, you can add clips to it. You can add a clip of them training. It's so fucking cool. Anyways, you're doing that, and then you propose the higher level of service, which is the point of this particular group coaching call. That's when you say like, hey, did you know that we could probably get better results? Like, you lost 5 pounds. We might be able to lose 10 pounds next month if you wanted to train twice a week with me instead of just once a week, right? Or, hey, did you know that you can probably get better results if we train for hour sessions instead of 30-minute sessions, right? And so that's when you don't, it's not a hard sell. You just say, what do you think of that? Is that something you'd be interested in doing? If you just say that to every single one of your clients, like 25 to 33%, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 3 are going to say yes. They're going to be like, cool, let's do it. And you're like, awesome. So it's just going to be an additional, $40 a week. So I think that'll take you from $69 to $109. Same card on files, everything all good. Yeah, cool. All right, cool. For our next session, right before we get started, I'm just going to have you sign for it, and then we'll be right into the workout. It'll take 30 seconds, right? And then the coach rewrites a contract before the next session, and literally it's pre-filled out. It's all pre-filled out. But what does he do? Well, he fills out the left-hand side, and the weekly amount changes to 109, and the amount of private sessions changes from 1 to 2. Everything else remains the same. Then he fills out the right-hand side, and he does it for 52 weeks, right? And be like, hey, I wasn't sure. It sounds like you're in this for the long haul, or maybe it'll be like, however, to reach their long-term goal, but mostly my coaches do 52 weeks. And they're like, hey, I just wanted to give you the option. I think we're going to be working together for a while. You can totally disregard it, but I can save you about, $400 if you wanted to agree to the 12-week program. And then we have a prepaid discount of 10%. So honestly, Mrs. Jones, whichever one makes more sense for you, and let's jump in the workout, right? And so now on the left-hand side, we have the weekly amount that you've already agreed to. So you can't lose the sale here, right? And on the right-hand side, you have the prepaid amount, right? That they can sign for. And whatever they select, it replaces their existing contract in the system. So we will go into the system, we will void their contract and replace it with this new one. Done deal. Upsold level of service. They did not come in on this program, but now they are on this program, right? That would be a hard fucking close on day one, but 30 days later, it's doable, right? To get somebody on a twice a week program, which is $109 a week, and to prepay for it for 52 weeks with a discount, guys, that's a $5,000 contract. We do it at our gym at least once or twice a month. We pull off contracts that size, right? By following a process similar to this. And so you can't get it on day one, but you absolutely can get it once they know, like, and trust you, and they're willing to invest in themselves, right? And then it just becomes a numbers game. Do it every single time. And then it's just a matter of, if your number, based on your coaches and based on the clients that you attract, if your number seems to be 25% ascension rate, then it just becomes a numbers game. If you propose it 30 times a month and you hit 25%, you're going to get 7.5 people, call it 7, that are going to take this option. Just keep on proposing it. Keep on bringing them in on your flagship program and follow this process every single time. You're going to get testimonials out of it. You're going to get more satisfied clients if you have to rewrite the blueprint, right? And fix either the enjoyment level or the effectiveness level. And you're going to give yourself an opportunity to sell a higher level of service. And guys, if you upgrade somebody from $69 to $40, an additional $40 a week for a higher level of service, that's the same thing as acquiring a new client without paying the cost of acquisition. Do you know what I mean? There's no cost to acquire that client, but you're receiving a proportional amount of revenue. Super powerful stuff that you can do, right? The final thing that I'll talk about is cross-selling. Okay, so we've talked about upselling, which is more of the existing thing, and then cross-selling is other stuff, right? And so, like I posted in the group chat just now, like we invested in an aquatic training thing, and we can cross-sell members into that. It does not come with their flagship program, but they can buy it if we can articulate and demonstrate the value of it. We have nutrition coaching, we have life coaching, we have massage therapy. These are all cross-sells. It does not come with the transformation program, but we'll offer them a free session on the house to show them the value of it. And then that person, whoever's teaching it, has a really good pitch to get them to add it to their membership or to buy a pack of them or whatever it may be, right? And you just do it every single time. You just do it every time with every member. And if you can systemize that, there are a ton of opportunities to have your average client, instead of paying $2.99 a month, they're paying $5.99 a month or $4.99 a month. Just do the math. There's so much more profit because there's no cost of acquisition for any of those upsells or cross-sells. So you'll see your revenue increasing, but the expenses won't increase. The ad cost won't increase. The cost of payroll will increase slightly, but not as proportionally as the revenue will. It's not going to go up proportionally. Right? Revenue's 100%. If you're paying out 40% to your coaches, then it will increase disproportionately high in the revenue category versus the expense, right? And a lot of other things are unaffected by it, right? I don't pay extra credit card processing because I pay per transaction. There's no additional transaction, right? It's just a larger amount, right? I think there's a little percentage in there, but my point is that, I'm able to, I don't need more space. My rent doesn't go up because I'm not going from 200 to 400 members. I still have 200 members, right? So there's a lot of pros to doing this. And I think that the best thing to do is systemize it, even if you do it shitty, because that gives you an opportunity to make it better. But at least systemize it and make the meetings happen. Get these meetings to happen and get them systemized, get them SOP'd, get them happening. And then if you're not converting, well, at least you can take a look and figure out, maybe you need to change the pitch or the whatever, right? But if you're not doing them, like, of course you don't have the same opportunity as the rest of us that are doing them. So anyways, guys, that's what I wanted to talk about. Don't worry about stacking too much stuff or everything that you can do on your front end. because you absolutely will have a chance to resell, upsell, and cross-sell everybody once they're in your program. I'm not going to talk about reselling because that's just keeping them on continuity of the same program, but just for a longer period of time. We can talk reselling when we talk about sales, but that's what I wanted to talk about today. Hopefully you guys found it useful and you can talk with your team and figure out how can we make this happen every single time with every single member. And if you can find a way to do that, right, even if you have a small team, I think that you will find that there is much more money to be had from your existing membership base, and it's much easier to grow your revenue than it is by acquiring new members, right, for what it's worth. So anyways, guys, if you're watching on Facebook, feel free to drop any questions or comments in the chat. Give it a like or a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. If you're on the Zoom call and you have any questions, feel free to unmute. We have about 5 minutes. Sorry, I talked a little bit longer today, but I really wanted to cover this. If you're on the Zoom call, feel free to, come off mute and ask a question. And if you guys don't have any questions, I won't hold you up. I know it's a busy week. Today, we're already a day behind because of Labor Day. So I'll let you get back at it. Going once. Going twice.
Hey, Joey.
Carl, what's up, man?
Good. So I've been kind of doing like a multitude of things. Obviously we have the trial of people coming in. I'm trying to see if we can run ads at the same time as we get bodies coming in. Where I'm, I guess, needing help is it better to have more coaches than not enough coaches for especially like the one-on-ones? And I know last time you were saying that you make it mandatory for your coaches to teach at least one set. Is it one session or one day per week?
At least one session.
One session per week, right? That's like a mandatory thing. So that way they still stay bought in, kind of.
Yeah, and most of them do the whole day because our sessions are back to back. So like,
yeah,
we'll have them at like 4, 5, and 6 p.m. They won't just teach the 4.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, fuck it, I'll just do 4, 5, and 6.
Okay. And then all right, so mandatory. And then one thing that we've been kind of dealing with is like I had two ladies come in, they were older. And I feel like possibly is because maybe we didn't hold their hand as much during the first couple of weeks. But both of them signed up and I feel like they were just overly sore, and even just probably going off the couch, and we really did as basic as possible. What do you do to kind of like counter that from happening? People kind of like backing out.
I almost just set expectations more than I can avoid it. So like during the blueprint, I'm like, look, this first 30 days, like you're going to be sore. Like there's no way around it. What we're doing is we're breaking down muscles and we're rebuilding them. And that's exactly what you need to be functional and to get in the shape that you want to get in. But I just want to make sure, like, is that something you're okay with, right? Is that something that is going to work for you? Because, if we train you to the degree that like you won't get sore, you probably won't get the results either. So just before we move on, like what's more important for you? Is it getting the results or is it not being sore? Because then I'll make sure the coach, or if the coach is talking, I'll make sure that I cater to the program to that, right? Like kind of setting those expectations to begin with, because that way if they are sore as shit, it's like, well, I told you would be. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I also told you it doesn't last past the first 30 days. Once you're past the beginning, like it's not going to be like this forever. So that's kind of how I handle it, because like you said, dude, like I've tried fucking regressing things like to a super simple level, and they would still get sore depending on how deconditioned they are, or we would just take a lot of rest time between workouts. But usually it's the boot camps that would get them, because no one's supervising them, or they are being supervised, but not to the level of the one-on-one coaching. So some coaches might be like, hey, only do 1 class for your first week and then 2 classes the second week, and then you can do all 3 on week 3. Like you can stagger it for them and be like, if they're like, well, I paid for 3, be like, fine, go to 3, but you're going to be sore as hell. Do you know what I mean? And really you can handle that more in the blueprint than trying to like do damage control afterwards.
Gotcha. And one thing you said earlier too, as well, is the difference between effective and enjoyable. You want it to be both, right?
Yeah.
I feel like, especially with one-on-ones, some of my coaches, it's enjoyable, right? But the clients aren't seeing results, and I can see that, or it's effective, but it's not enjoyable. But I think a lot of my coaches are more on the enjoyable side, not effective. what are things that we can do to make sure that clients are obviously losing weight consistently, right? And obviously seeing results.
Yeah. So we do workshops every 3 months with our coaches, and that really
Mhm,
helps with the like enjoyable part of it.
mhm.
Because sometimes the coaches that aren't like their workouts aren't really fun is like they just don't know how to do. They just don't know how to make them fun. It's not like they're not
Yeah,
fun people. They just have no idea what to do. They're just doing sets and reps, right?
yeah.
Um, and the ones that their clients don't really get results, I think that for them, they have a really hard time getting the clients to buy into like what they're saying. So like they know the correct nutrition, but they can't get the client to like be like, you know what, you're right. I'm starting tomorrow. Like this is exactly what I'm gonna do. They're like, hey, you should probably eat this, this, and this, and the client's like, okay, awesome, I'll do it. That client's not fucking bought in. They're just like, so I think for us at least, what we found is that it's not about creating like um some new diet or having them do some. It's like, dude, you got to figure out how to talk to each individual client and like like get them to a place where like they're actually going to do what you tell them to do, right? And
Mhm,
so I don't know if that's like if the coach, like for us, and it depends on each coach, but like sometimes the coach isn't showing up like they should be, and the client's like,
mhm.
why should I listen to this guy? Like he's not in shape, or he's like coming in late, or he doesn't seem prepared, or he looks messy, or whatever. Doesn't really seem like a
Mhm.
professional. The client's like, and the client could be a professional in their own job. And they're like, why should I listen to this guy? He's not like, he doesn't seem squared away. So it's like, dude, man, unless you get yourself squared away, like they're not going to listen to what you have to say, man. Or
Mhm.
secondly, it's like, hey man, like maybe you need to work a little bit more on putting yourself in their shoes, because you're talking to them like they're a 25-year-old dude too, and they're not. Like they're a 45-year-old woman. Like you can't just be like eat a rotisserie chicken every day for dinner. Like they can't do that. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
like what you're saying isn't wrong, but like you have to find a way to talk to them like in their life. And sometimes that's hard for coaches that have been in shape their entire life, or have never experienced like having kids and having to make dinner for them. And so the best way to do it is just talk with their clients who have been successful, and try to like pick their brains on what's worked best for them, so they can give
Mhm.
recommendations from like people that they've worked with that actually got results, instead of like. So we spend a lot of time doing that, because that with coaches, a lot of times like they have a hard time relating to the people that they're training, and a lot of times
Yeah.
like it's not fun for the clients. Like it's fun for coaches to train hard and get results, and like it's for most people it's not a fun thing. They do it because they have to, because they don't want to be out of shape or look bad or whatever, but it's not. They're not going to wake up early and head to the gym with a big ass smile on their face like our coaches do. Like it's not
Yeah.
fun for them. And so I spend a lot of time getting the coaches in that mindset of that, and then we work with each other on enjoyable, and just always
Mhm.
preach it. Be like, hey man, your workouts and you're in the whole. It's not about having the best workout. It's about giving the best experience, right? The
Yeah.
best experience you can. So that person, like, I want all of your clients leaving with a big ass smile on their face. That's how you know
Mhm.
you did your job. You know what I mean? Um, and so if you guys can make that happen, like I'm not going to micromanage you on how you do that, right? I'll give you tips. I'll tell you what's worked for me, but like at the end of the day, like if you want to be a squared away coach, like that's what we need to happen, right? That's what
Mhm.
we need at our gym. Is it needs to be effective and enjoyable. If you don't know how to do that, like by all means, like come to me privately and we'll talk. We'll go over stuff. We'll role play. We'll do whatever. But if you're not coming to me for help, I'm assuming that you feel like you got it, and that's what I want to see.
Yeah. Okay. No problem at all. And then Joe, and I know we did it during like the beginning phases. Are you guys, and I'm not sure if that's with Jeff or not, but are you guys able to do like the one-on-ones once you get to like certain milestones and stuff like that?
One-on-one with who? You?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Did you do your phase 3 call yet?
Yes. And I need to go back there too as well because it kind of all blurs in once you go through it a couple times. But I can
Yeah. I'll,
definitely go back and look at it.
I'll reach out to you to get more calls for you.
Okay.
Um, because we cover that on a lot of the phase 3 stuff, but also
Okay.
like you've been in the program for a little bit now. So it'd be good to have a refresher and to like
Yep.
dial all this stuff in. So I'll reach out to you on how you can do that.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
No problem, dude. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Great call today. If anybody needs anything, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, tomorrow at noon Central, we'll be back on talking about fulfillment and team building. So that'll be a good one for tomorrow. Catch you guys then.